Hey guys, today I'm here with Grant Potter, who got second place at our Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals this week at MSU. And what are you playing today?
I am playing, sorry, I am playing Mathmech.
Alright.
I really like Mathmech. I'm a math major, so it felt very natural. I played a bunch of the cards when I was playing Cyberstruck a while ago, and I just really like the engine.
Alright. Show us what you were playing today.
So, first up, 3 copies of Circular. This is circular.deck. If you draw into this card, you've pretty much won. Your entire first turn combo can be built off of Circular, and you can have your entire second turn OTK is built off of the Circular you used the turn previous. This card, it is so important that I am running like 9 ways into this card. It's crucial. You draw this card, you win. We're rocking 2 Sigma. That's just a reborn out of the graveyard. It's not bad. You send it off of Circular to be able to start your combo plays. We're going with 3 Diameter. Really nice to open with if you open it with the Circular, or you can use it with in combination with a card I have later on to search out the Circular. It's really nice to open. I enjoy opening it a lot. We've got 2 Addition and 2 Subtraction. They're nice extenders, but you really only want to draw 1 max. They're just nice if you get interrupted, or if they like DD Crow your Sigma, then you have something else to go into instead of it. It's just nice for comeback ability. We're running 1 Superfactorial, 1 Induction, and 1 Equation. In my experience, this deck will be done by turn 4, whether you win or not, unless you're like in a really simple game state. So having 1 Superfactorial, I don't think is that big of an issue. You're pretty much only resolving it once anyway. If you open with the Superfactorial in hand, you can search the Induction off of the Circular, or if you open a Diameter in hand, you can search one of these 2 cards off of the Alimbertion. Equation is just really nice as an extender for Okoing.
Do most builds play 1 Induction?
It's complicated. Some do, some don't. I like it in main because it's a main deck out to mine. It's searchable out to mine. This deck loses really hard to any sort of floodgate. I like running it in main, just it's come in handy and it's another search target and you don't really want to use it in Superfactorial twice. 3 Cyanide Mining. This is draw circular.deck. We're running 3 Small World. So with Small World, the bridges in this deck are really easy to make. You can go from any hand trap into spoiler, but effect veiler into circular, or you can go from any engine piece into parallel exceed into circular, which makes this card really nice. It's essentially a circular copies 4 through 9. Generally speaking, your best starting hand is 2 cards that you can use to go into circular, either circular and a hand trap, or one of these cards and like a dead card. 2 hand traps and 1 extra extender just in case. I like it a lot, and it just got reprinted, so now it's dirt cheap. We're running 3 Parallel Exceed, Small World Bridge. Also, it's just nice to have a bonus 2 extenders whenever you want. You're running Al Mirage in the extra deck as well to facilitate this going into Alimbertion to start your combos in the most dire of circumstances. We're running 3 Ash, because it's Ash. 3 Veiler, mostly for a Small World Bridge. I hate this card, but I have to run it. We're running 3 DD Crow, best hand trap of the format. You'll notice that all of these hand traps link Small World with Effect Veiler. These both have 0 attack. These are both level 1. We are running 3 Imperm because Imperm is amazing. We're running 1 Call by the Grave because this card should be banned. And then we're running 3 Forbidden Droplet. I've seen a lot of people playing Dark Ruler No More instead. I'm not a big fan of Dark Ruler No More for this deck in particular, because I feel that if you are in a position where you need to Dark Ruler No More, you're not going to be able to do damage to your opponent's life points. This deck really wants to kill them in 1 turn. Knocking them out with Dark Ruler No More essentially means you have to wait another turn, and if you have to wait another turn with this deck, you are going to be losing. Additionally, you can lose like 3 cards and cards advantage as long as you have the circular in hand, because the circular facilitates everything. You could also like activate Small World, send the Small World with Droplet as Chainlink 2 to like facilitate that combination, which is really good. One important thing to note is I am not playing Nabla or Multiplication. I will get into that later. That's the main deck, nice tight 40 cards. This is the extra deck. The extra deck for this deck is super tight. You have like 1 or 2 spots you get to play with. First, we have Link Disciple, Link Devotee, Cyberse Wicked, IP Masquerena, Lingaribo, and Appaloosa. Generally speaking, you're going to go into an Alimbertion on your first turn, then go into Disciple, Devotee, Wicked, IP, and Lingaribo. I like going to Lingaribo to play around evenly matched and imperm in the draw phase, so they can't imperm my IP Masquerena. These 5 cards you'll summon on your turn. You will Cyberse lock yourself, so you'll have to do the Appaloosa with IP on the following turn. Unfortunate, but needs to happen. You need to be careful. There's a card in my side deck that will make Appaloosa a little problematic, but you can generally play around it. For the next turn, you are running just the Access code line. This deck will love to kill in 1 turn. Update Jammer Access code is 10,000 damage, which is enough to put most decks on their ass. One thing you do need to keep in mind is, what's the card? Snow will kill you. Generally speaking, if I fight a Snow, if I have DD Crow or Call by my hand, I'm gonna banish that card immediately, so that I don't have to deal with it later on. Next up, the last 2 links are Almirage and Heat Soul. Almirage is in case I draw like 4 hand traps and 1 Parallel Exceed. I can normal summon the hand trap, go into Almirage, Parallel Exceed, get the Alimbertion on the field, and then keep going. It's not great, and it cuts you off from your Superfactorial line if you don't have enough extenders in hand, but you do what you need to do to win, you know? Heat Soul is like the one spot that's like probably negotiable. I have this card in case I have really bad hands where I have 1 extender and no cards I can play, like a Diameter and like either hand traps or spell traps. You can go into Diameter or any extender, normal summon the extender. You can normal summon a hand trap, special summon either Addition, Subtraction, or Sigma from your hand. Link those 2, or link the 1 hand trap into Almirage. Use those 2 to go into Splash Mage back a Cyberse to go into Heat Soul. Hope to God you draw something useful. It's just what you have to do. Sometimes hands are that bad. That's a very rare case though. It only came up like once in the last couple weeks. The last set is 2 copies of Alimbertion and 1 copy of Laplacian. You're going to use generally 1 on your first turn to facilitate your combo, 1 on your 3rd turn to facilitate like a search for circular off the Diameter you'll have from your main combo, and then you have 1 Laplacian to summon from the Superfactorial on your opponent's turn in order to disrupt them, sending 3 cards either from the monster, spell trap zone, or the hand to the graveyard, 1 of each of course. This card is absolutely busted, and if you make it with Diameter, it also has an Omni Negate attached to it. It's crazy. Revolt is crazy, even when you have to use Xyz for it. Notably, I'm not playing Final Sigma. I think that's cope. I don't think that's any good. I think every time you're in a position where you'd want to use Final Sigma, you're probably dead anyway. I think it's much easier to focus your deck around getting access code and OTKing than it is to Final Sigma, at least in my experience. That's also why I'm not running Multiplication or Nabla, because there's no need to without Final Sigma.
Okay, before we get into the side deck, is there a reason why you like Oppo over something like Unicorn?
I feel like most decks will crash to 3 monster negates. Unicorn's really good for spinning a card, but it spins 1 card, and you're not going to have any shortage of sending cards to the graveyard because of Laplacian. I would rather have like the grand total of 4 to 5 negates, given the circumstances. It's just a preference thing. I wouldn't blame anybody for playing Unicorn above Heat Soul, for example. Just what I've found works for me.
Okay.
For the side deck, I've got 3 D-Barrier for going first and 3 Rivalry for going first. You can steal a lot of games off of Rivalry. You have to be careful with Appaloosa, because Appaloosa is a fairy. It's also the only fairy that you should be summoning, or sorry, the only non-Cybers you should be summoning. But as long as you're careful about that, Rivalry is cracked in this deck. D-Barrier is D-Barrier. We've got 3 copies of Nibiru and 1 copy of Pankratops for going second. Pankratops is essentially could say pop 1 card on the field. It wouldn't be treated any differently. You generally don't want to be in a position where you're swinging with this thing, because again, you want to be done by turn 4. Nibiru is just good for Sprite players that don't know what they're doing. Lastly, we have a bunch of Spell Trap hate, 3 Cosmic. I like Cosmic in particular because there are a lot of cards in like Eldritch, for example, that really like being in the graveyard, and I don't like them being in the graveyard. Cosmic's just really nice for that. You lose on time, so you got to be careful. Harpies, because it's Harpies, red reboot because I really don't want to get debarriered. And that's the deck.
Do you have any shout outs that you want to give before we're done?
Shout out to the Yu-Gi-Oh Club. It's been a good time, and I've enjoyed coming to it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for giving us your deck profile today.
Thank you.